Things might get weird.
Yeah.
Welcome to our life. Welcome back to a new episode of the Hewlett House podcast. How's it going, babe?
I'm doing just fine. Is that convincing? I actually really am. I'm doing great today. How are you?
That's why I was a little shocked and just started laughing because I didn't even know. I thought you were good. Are we good today?
I mean, if we're really asking, we can dig into this and play therapy today. No, I'm just kidding. I'm doing fine. Today's a good day. It has been a very hectic week, but a lot of work going on, a lot of stuff happening. I usually don't work Sundays, but I have some good friends that we're trying to. I think we got it narrowed down to 2 homes, and one of them already has an offer. So we'll see how this goes. This market is crazy. It's weird, but here we are with 7% interest rates and life happening.
Yeah, it's crazy. But we're doing the thing.
Doing the thing.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Good game.
Things are good.
I'm proud of you.
Proud of you.
Get it. Okay, let's start with good news.
Go for it.
So we actually got a good news sent to us. This is our first one that we're doing where somebody sent it to us.
Thanks.
It's about, so thank you.
Yeah, send them in. Send in topics. Ask us questions.
Yeah.
We'll answer them if we want to.
Probably will because we're pretty much an open book. So
yeah, we're pretty open.
Let us know if you have a question. Most topics are on the table.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the good news. This happened in California. A lady lost her
Just notice how nothing good. There's no good news out of Florida. Florida good news.
Wedding ring.
How much?
$9,500. $9,500. Okay. She was in the lake swimming around with her kids, and she could feel it. I think it said that she was like trying to help her kid get out of the water or whatever. And she started to kind of feel, or her kid was like drifting away. So she was swimming after the kid. And then she kind of felt it like slipping a little bit, but she was like, oh, it's still there. We're good to go. Anyway, come up, no ring. Her ring is
This is in the lake.
Gone in a lake.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway, comes across this guy, this scuba diver that likes to scuba dive in these lakes, and asks him, I think he lived 3 hours away from what I recall, asked him to come and dive, see if he can find the ring.
And he found it.
Oh my gosh, he found it. He's like, it was murky and it was like cloudy. You couldn't really see, but he had a metal detector. Found the ring. Didn't even charge him. Just thought it was for fun. For funsies.
What a nice guy.
Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. I love technology.
But not as much as you see.
Napoleon Dynamite reference.
But I still...
You can stop now.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
no, that's
so I
awesome.
thought that was sweet. That's
news.
Such a cute one. Can you even imagine? Like in a lake, you just are like, no, it's gone. He said he found a phone too, a cell phone that he's hoping to figure out who it is. It's like more to the mystery of the excitement of finding,
Yeah.
So I think it's cute. One person's loss could be somebody's great day treasure adventure.
Hashtag blessed.
Blessed.
Radical.
Isn't that cute?
That's so cute.
Thanks for sending that in. That was a fun one.
Yeah, thank you. That is cool.
People are good. That he just wanted to come do it and didn't charge or anything.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cute.
And didn't keep it.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know in those California.
It's like I never saw it. Pockets it.
Yeah.
Takes it to the, what do they call it, pawn shop?
Pawn shop.
I wonder how much that price of a ring would go at the pawn shop. I don't know. Do they have a percentage? What do they do?
I don't know. I've never worked at one.
You should.
But I've watched that.
So that we have more. Oh my gosh.
The one in Vegas.
Yeah. Pawn Stars one?
Pawn Stars.
Oh,
they seem to want to make a profit on what they purchase, so it's usually lower than what you paid.
Well, obviously it's going to be lower.
John Mulaney, that comedian, has a special out where he talks about all his addiction and everything and how he went and bought a Rolex watch and went straight from the Rolex store because he told his accountant. It's pretty freaking funny, but it's sad but funny because he's over it now. We can laugh about things. Humor heals, I believe. Okay. That's why sometimes we're irreverent to some. But
that's true.
If you can't laugh about it, then what? You know what I
then
mean?
we cry.
Yeah, just laugh. Learn to laugh. Live, laugh, love. You know what I'm saying?
It releases the same.
I came up with this saying, live, laugh, love. We should spread it around and see if it gets
This
popularized.
is so new.
Yeah.
That's so good. So catchy. Dave.
Winning.
Let's put it on everything.
Don't distract me.
Guys, our new slogan. Merch coming soon.
I can't remember what they offered him now, though. It was like a third, I think, of what he paid, or close to half of what he paid for this watch.
It was like nothing.
And the reason he had to go pawn his own watch off, went and bought one, is because he told his accountant, hey, don't let me go spend money on stuff.
Yeah.
So he had to make it look like he was actually making a purchase or spend too much money on drugs. And so he needed to trick his accountant after asking him to hold him accountable. Kind of funny. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
I think I have his name right. John Mulaney. Pretty sure.
I can't remember his name. I just remember hearing the story.
Holler.
Word.
Anything else?
Update. We're just almost to the end of summer. We got a whole lot of stuff to try and work out and figure out before we start again. So we're grateful that it's not quite over.
We'll have 4 kids in 4 different schools this year.
Yeah.
Is that going to work?
Yep, sure is.
We
got to do carpool and figure it out. It'll be fine.
When we're done here, I need you to tell me what the junior high is to 9th grade. What's the 9th grade school around here? There's not a Salem Junior High, is there?
Mm-hmm. So it's middle school, then junior high, then high school.
The high school just has 10 through 12 here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the middle school has 6 through 8.
No. Okay, middle school is 6 and 7. Junior high, 8 and 9.
Okay, you might need to come with me to explain this
10.
with our friends at this next house we're going to go see. Do you have time today?
Sure, let's do it.
You want to go?
Yeah.
She was asking me, I'm like, I just realized that I don't really.
There was something else that I was thinking I needed to talk.
I don't know all the schools around here, which is so dumb.
There was something else I needed to talk to him about. I couldn't remember, but yeah.
America.
I'm happy to. We make a good team.
Yeah, you should sell real estate with me.
Meh.
You go show the homes.
Honestly, that would be ideal.
Get a little break from the children's.
That would be my favorite part of showing homes. I don't want to do the paperwork. Or do the negotiations. I'll just be like, yeah, it's really cute, huh? This is what I like. This is what I don't like.
I'll
really
give you
my
like
opinion.
This is my favorite.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like the more we watch Modern Family, the more we are them.
The more you relate.
Yeah. Phil Dunphy.
You're Phil.
Yeah. 10 years later.
That comparison makes me so happy.
Why?
I don't know. I love Phil. I do.
He's funny. But he adds the cheese in there for sure. He's great.
He's the best.
Yeah. It's nice as I get going. You learn to just, if it's going to work out, it's going to work out. And when it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's okay. You just kind of trust the process. Trust it. You know?
You just got to, it is what it is.
Which is actually
control what you can control and let the rest go.
Yeah.
Boom.
We could end on that.
New merch.
New merch out someday in the future.
Just kidding. Well, babe, you sent me.
That's actually a good segue for the. Yeah, I have these little messages. I'm trying to pay attention more lately, and maybe just because I'm becoming mindful of this. Last week we talked about being intentional.
Ooh, which I did something and it worked great.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I need to clean out this cupboard of mine. And Maddie was asking me for certain things.
A cupboard?
Yeah, the cupboard underneath my sink.
Okay.
Because I was talking about how I have things that I'm like, I don't even know that I have this. So why do I need it? Right?
I was taking a jab at the rest of the cupboards.
Correct. But that's okay. We're going to keep going.
Okay.
So Maddie was saying she wanted certain things that she was wanting to try, facial stuff, whatever,
Yeah.
Skin treatment stuff, whatever. And so I had collected stuff that I thought, okay, I'm going to use this. And then I don't. And then I don't. And so we went under my cupboard. I'll post the picture. She's got an armful of stuff that I was like, okay, intentionally letting this go. And she's like, oh, I was going to go buy that. Oh, I was going to go buy that. And I'm like, fantastic.
Cool.
So it worked out.
For every item you bring in, you need to get rid of 10.
I did tell her that too. So she was like, I want to start getting more matchy PJ sets instead of just having her whatever grungy clothes. I said, that's fine. But for every
matchy PJ sets, who are we?
I don't know, but it's fine if she wants to get him, and because she wants to be intentional too and declutter her life. So she wanted to get like a set that goes together instead of just PJ shirt. You know what I mean? Like PJ shirts are usually like your old shirts that you don't wear anymore. At least in my house, that's how we roll.
Yeah.
So she was like, I want to get rid of these shirts that like don't mean anything, but that anyway. So because she wants that, I said, okay, you have to get rid of 4 things to get one set. So
cool.
We're doing it.
I also had a thought that we could have her help us organize the garage in a way, and I know it's going to take some work, that she could fit a car in there if she wants to park her car in the garage. And I'm happy to take that third bay, honestly.
It's probably safer.
Yep. It for sure is.
It's teeny tiny, unless she gets a teeny tiny car.
My car will fit over there.
I know, but you have to back it in so that you can get out.
Yep.
Anyway.
If you build a home, build your third car out a little bit.
So that you can
add 2 feet
out of the car when you pull in straight. That's it. That's all you need to know. Like,
that's it. That's all you need to know.
I mean, that's all that needs to happen. You got to be able to get out of the car if you pull it in.
There's like tubs and bikes and boxes and stuff there. So
anyway, okay. Back to
No. Don't distract. Commit.
I know that
Will you talk to Madeline about working on that bay?
Yeah, but we need to get rid of a couple things that you have to sign off on that I've been trying to get rid of for a long time.
4-wheeler?
Yep.
We should get it working, and then we can just park it in the shed.
No, it doesn't fit. It's not going to fit there either.
Yes, it will.
/ the children are kind of too big for it anyway.
No, they're not. It's perfect for Taft and Gwen.
Okay. When and where are we going to take it?
To America. Take it to America.
What brings me to my next point.
Salem.
Okay. So you texted me. We're being intentional. This week, actually, I've been really trying to like up my scripture game too. Reading the scriptures, trying to like up my spiritual game. So had you? You've been listening to this book.
Yeah.
It's called
Conversations with God, and it's connected with me on a lot of levels. It's been pretty cool to listen to. I've recommended it to a few people. And also shout out to, can I give a couple shout outs?
Sure.
We've had a couple people reach out to you and me.
Maybe not specific names then?
Well, for sure.
Okay.
That have just, it's kind of cool to do this podcast and have people, I know this probably annoys some people and they just don't listen, so hopefully you're not one of those people. But it's cool to have our conversations go. The most rewarding thing I think for us is it's a selfish thing. It's kind of a date for us. Jordan Peterson talks about being purposeful and intentional in your relationships and spending 1 to 2 hours a week, like on a date or conversing. And this is kind of that for us. Not that, and then we're very intentional about going on a date. Last night we went to Texas Roadhouse, and then we went and saw Oppenheimer.
Not my favorite.
It was long. It was a one-timer-ish. I might watch it again, but it was more of a one-time movie for me. The story is interesting. It was 3 hours long. In my opinion, they could have told the story a little faster and gotten there faster, but
let's put it this way.
It was entertaining.
I had 2 naps.
Yeah, just took 2 naps in a 3-hour movie. I would have, if hindsight, I would have gone into a different theater and sat in a comfier chair.
Yeah.
Like
I really think that
chair.
may have been why I got a headache. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, well, Jess gets migraines one or 2 times a month. What's your concoction? Share it.
A Dr. Pepper, which it's got to be, I'm normally a diet person, but it's got to have the sugar with it. Something about the sugar and the caffeine mix. Anyway, 3 ibuprofen, 1 Tylenol if it's real good, 2 Tylenols. Works every time. Folks.
This is Jessica's. She was drinking a
Trifecta.
Dr. Pepper.
I got it from my sister-in-law. Shout out, Sabina. Thank you.
Thanks, Sabina.
Yeah, 9 a.m. this morning, Dr. Pepper. Blech.
Yeah.
That's not great. Not my favorite at all, but.
And But, so there you go. If you get migraines, try it. Can't hurt.
Okay, so we've had people, I'm not sure how we got here.
We were talking about conversations with God, being intentional, and how I see and date night. We're intentional about that. There was a couple other things that came to mind, but I was just thinking it's cool. This book kind of came in, I feel like, to my life at the right time. I've just been listening to it, and not that I agree with everything in it. Some things seem woo-woo and
But that's
more
the
of a
beauty.
message to like this guy. But I still think a lot of it gives a lot of food for thought in it. And it's very, I don't even think you have to approach it that open-minded, frankly, but I think it's a cool book that makes you think about, they talk about questions that are hard to answer and gives you different philosophies and ideas on things. But it's been cool as we've done this journey and had this journey with the podcast and everything, to have people reach out to us and confide in us and talk to us, and how many people can actually relate. It helps us feel probably a little less crazy.
Yeah.
And I was even talking to Brandon Gregory, and he didn't name any names, which was great. But I didn't ask, but he just said, I've had a lot of people reach out since we came on the podcast that totally relate with our experience, and a lot of my family that I haven't talked to in a long time actually even reached out to me, and it was pretty cool to just talk with people. And
it opens a can of worms. You're not alone, right?
Yeah, and I wouldn't even call it a can of worms. I would just call it.
You're right.
It opens up this
opportunities.
Yeah, exactly,
connect.
Totally. And I think that's why we're here too. We're here to find joy, I think, and our relationships. Your brother Andy shared an awesome post a few weeks ago about relationships and how important they are, and I thought that's so true. And usually when we're in a bad space, in a bad spot, we will we'll hide out a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's the opposite of what maybe it's okay to hide out sometimes, I think, and get your crap together. But also getting out, talking to people.
What is that word? Starts with an R.
Recluse. That's not the one, though.
That's not in it.
There's a term for it.
Anyway,
I can't think of it, but yeah, you just kind of go solo. And I actually did that a few months ago, where I was just in a spot where I was just feeling so negative. I didn't want to go out and just spew negativity. Yeah. And I even had a buddy, we were talking about this, call me out on my attitude and stuff in a very kind way. And it literally just changing my attitude has changed my life recently. Amazing how that works, right?
Well, we talk about it. What you focus on grows. So if you're got a crappy attitude,
it's gonna, and that's actually a perfect
continue to grow
spot for me to probably mention. I'm just kind of, as I'm changing my attitude and just trying to be more intentional that way. I noticed that there's these little patterns in my life that seem to reemerge. Whether it's, of course, Reels will just pick what you like, jokes and stuff, and it'll just show it to you. But not just through there, other ways I'll notice that these little messages seem to come through, and I just am trying to pay more attention to those. And this week, a lot of what's popped up to me is being present, and the more I've thought about it, and the more I'm listening to this book, Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsch, if you're interested, there was a spot this morning that I was listening to it, and this is what it said. I'll just read it. Is that okay?
Yep.
It says, "Your feelings are truth. What is best for you is what is true for you. Thoughts are not feelings. Rather, they are ideas of how you should feel. When thoughts and feelings get confused, truth becomes clouded, lost. To get back to your feelings, be out of your mind and get back to your senses. Once you know your truth, live it. Negative feelings are not true feelings at all. Rather, they are your thoughts about something based always on previous experience of yourself and others. Previous experience is no indicator of truth, since pure truth is created here and now, not reenacted. To change your response to anything, be in the present. That is the present moment. That moment, the moment that was sent to you and was what it was before you had a thought about it. In other words, be here now, not in the past or the future. The past and the future can only exist in thought. The present moment is the only reality. Stay there. Seek and you shall find." And it kind of goes on to say, a lot of people have different rituals or prayer or things that they go to try to connect with God. And whatever works for you, it's saying, go to that. And I thought that was cool. There's a lot to unpack here, but I was even, man, am I a hypocrite? But I was even just talking to Jack. He had a bad reaction last night. I kind of ripped his head off. And then we talked calmly today, in fact, about 30 minutes ago, about, hey, I got after him because he was kind of being a smart aleck. Being feisty, and it wasn't really bad, but it was the way his tone and stuff to you was crap. So I said, hey, if someone else talked to so I ripped his head off kind of. I didn't actually hit him or anything, so we're clear, but I verbally.
You didn't even leave for your chair, in fact.
No, I was laying in bed and I just said, hey, mister.
Watch it.
watch it, mister. That's very toned down, okay, from what it was last night. The beauty of it, though, is everybody went to bed and we didn't have a fight after that, so that was great. Bedtime is a nightmare lately. But I just said, if somebody else talked to your mom the way that you talked to her, how would that make you feel? And he's like, yeah, not good. I said, I know I'm reactionary and I'm 38 and I'm trying to figure this out too, buddy. But before you react and you have this crappy attitude, which I've also learned, and I told him the same thing I just mentioned about attitude. Think for just a second about how you can react and how you can let that out respectfully. I said, we're open book here, man. Talk to us about whatever you want. But I said, unfortunately, we're doing the best that we can, and it's not always perfect. And I said, your mom, it was actually a thing about getting it, like, you're going to church today and he didn't want to go. And obviously that's tough because I don't go. But I'm like, you got the priesthood. You've kind of chosen this. And really, we don't have a better answer for you right now on how to connect with God other than what we can have here in our home. So this is what we're doing. And I said, if that changes, it changes. But right now, that's what we're doing, man. But at least here we can have an open conversation and dialogue about whatever you want to talk about. We're not in a box here. So what's your truth? What is Jack's soul telling you, and how can you feel that? Because he has what I kind of have. You don't want to disappoint anybody, and you want to kind of fit in. And the older I get, the less I care about that. And so I see that in him, though, that he cares a lot about what other people think. And I just said, man, just be you, Jack. Just be kind. He's a good kid. Really all of our kids are really good. But I just said, nobody wants nobody wants more for you in the success in your life than your mom. So don't talk crap, dude, or I have to hit you.
Well, I think the thing for me with like having them go to church at this point is that there are certain things that I want them to learn and understand, and I don't have a better way to teach them that at this point.
Yeah.
I don't want, like, I could say to them, I guess, I know some families that are like, it's always a choice. It's always been a choice whether I wanted to go or not. And I'm okay with that if there's still effort being put towards growing your spirit. And I just don't see that we're in that mature enough space to do that on our own yet. And so that's why it's important to me that we're still
striving to have a connection with God.
Yeah. And making it the priority for them too. Is 100%. That fair?
Yes. Yeah. And that's what I told him. I said, man, I think that, I said, nobody knows anything. None of us know anything. We don't know where we came from. We don't know why we're here. That's kind of our job. We'll figure that out as we follow our heart and our soul and what we really feel is true to us. What this kind of said, right?
But that's what I was going to come back to that.
And where are we going? And putting a belief and praying, you got to try it out. You can't just, say, oh yeah, this is what we believe. Like put it to the test, man, and have a relationship with a higher power. And it seems to really be something, at least for us as your parents, that has helped us. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And not that you have to be this spiritual guru or anything, but try to find a connection with a higher power. Because one day we may not be here. And you're going to have to find a way to connect with someone or something bigger than you, I think. Yeah. Seems to help a lot of people, and it's definitely helped us. So that's what we're trying to pass on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I just I don't know. I just want to highlight some of this, right?
Yeah.
So I really liked where it says, once you know your truth, live it. And your truth, to me, I'm like, that can be, okay. Living it is the most authentic thing that you can do.
Yeah.
If you found something that you believe in and you're living it, that is where I think beauty is, right?
Totally. I think
if you're finding peace in something specific, and you're resisting it, it's going to be you're resisting your inner peace. I don't know what else to say other than like that. The authenticity in doing what you feel is right for your soul and what you've come to understand. Granted, that can always change. It really can, in my opinion.
It does change, I would argue.
Yeah. And so to me, I'm like, the best that we can do for ourselves, our inner peace and our inner spiritual being, is to be at peace inside by being who we are inside, outside.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Well, and I think that there's that scripture, we've kind of talked about this, I think, before, but don't hide your treasure, don't hide your gifts.
Yeah, under a bushel or whatever.
Yeah. I think it's in Matthew, maybe.
Light
anyway.
under a bushel.
Yeah, hold your light up and help others. That's our, and if we're not following who we think we should be in the path we think we're supposed to be on, and that we genuinely deep down actually feel, if we even have realized what that actually is, how are we ever going to realize our full potential?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how are we ever going to develop those gifts and find our purpose? I think that all kind of ties together, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There was and I still like crystals. I don't know if we ever talked about this. So there was a time.
Bring it on.
So this reminds me of this portion of my life, right?
Yeah.
Like to me, all growing up, crystals seemed woo-woo and hippie and whatever, right?
Sure.
But there was a time in my life that I was just like, I need something more. Like I like physically needed something else, right? And
good job, Hayden.
oh my gosh, no, you know what I mean? Like I tried going to therapy. I tried doing all these other things and it just wasn't working. And so I'm like, there's something like that I'm missing here that so I was grabbing at all the things, trying to figure out what it might be.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, let's see what these crystals do. And I went into it thinking, I'm like, okay, the rock in the hat, the urim, yeah, you know what I mean? Like if, because you do this where you're like, if this sounds weird to somebody, or if people are going to judge me for like looking into crystals, I have to have this justification.
Yeah.
You don't. You can do whatever you want and feel whatever you want, right? Yeah. So I had that like worked through my head. But I just thought, to me, or I have my rebuttal if somebody were to come at me at it. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, but it mainly, my main thought with it was that, okay, these are from the earth that was created by our God, I believe. And so is it too crazy to think that they could possess certain
properties?
Yeah, energy, energy, right? Okay. We believe that like all things are living, right? And so if it has certain energy that comes with certain things, right?
Yeah.
So each of the crystals are said to have different energies that it possesses. I personally like to stay away from the man-made ones. Mm-hmm. I prefer to do ones that are...
I like this hippie wife that I have. Just thought.
We're just going to go down this deep hole.
Let's do it.
But I don't use it. Okay, so I went through this whole thing and it just seemed more natural. Like if it was naturally created from the earth, ethically sourced, there's a whole whatever, thing on it, then
are we going to get high on our next podcast? And,
no, not even close.
Okay, just checking.
So those are the ones that like spoke more to me, whatever. And so I used to just like grab whatever crystal I was thinking, oh my gosh, okay, I know I need this in my life right now. And I would like take a crystal and keep it with me for the day, whatever. Mm-hmm. Those were my worst days.
Oh, really?
Worst days. If I brought God into it, like I said, this is personal. This is how it was for me. So I'm just going to get raw with you of like, this is what worked for me at the time. Cool. I don't use them as much anymore. Some days if I'm having a really hard day, I'm like, oh, maybe it could help. But I'll lay out the ones that I have, what I have. And then I probably have like 10, 15 different ones, maybe max. And I pray. And then the ones that like come out to me or like stick out, I'll get and take with me. But it was funny the turnaround I had with it, because it was like, oh, when I'm letting him help me, because I looked at one and then I looked at the properties of it and I'm like, this is not even close to what I think I'm going through right now. But by the end of the day, I saw the correlation and I saw why I would need it for that day. Make sense? Anyway, so when I brought God into it and like let him help me with this, that I felt like tool that I felt like he had given me.
Maybe you were being intentional about that kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
or you put more thought into it than just
But it felt good, and I felt like it was helping me at the time, and if nothing else, it was helping me be intentional to having those properties in my life that day.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Sure.
So to me, I'm like, I feel like my truth of going through that was something that I felt like, okay, I could really use this in my life right now, and it helps me get through those times. And like I said, it's not that I love them still. I'm not an everyday crystal wearer or holder, but it felt like at first it was like, this is crazy. What are you doing? And I always thought it was just like this hippie thing. But the more that I learned and the more that I leaned into it, feeling okay, like I felt okay about it because anyway, I let go of some judgments about it, I guess.
Yeah.
The more that I allowed it to like help me. And then I was like, oh yes, actually, I love this. This does feel good to me and right and true. Yeah. Still might sound hippie to a lot of people, but I liked it.
Cool. So, well, if that helped you. Anyway. I've actually seen, I got to go soon, but I've seen, actually saw a video recently, I think this week, and then I've done a couple Google searches, so you guys, if you're bored later, maybe Google into some of this info. But I've heard of people that, like studies that happen where they talk to certain bottles of water negatively, and then they froze them, and they talk positively to others and froze them, and the ones they talked positively to had like these really pretty flakes, like snowflakes in them, where the other ones didn't really give anything, or they weren't as pretty. And then I've heard the same thing with plants and all that type of stuff. So, and I think we've talked about this a little bit before, but the energy, when there's like vibrations, and you can almost feel it when you're with someone in the room, or when, you connect with somebody, and maybe it's somebody you don't even know very well, but all of a sudden you kind of hit it off. And whether it's a physical attraction like you and me, or just a friendship, what I mean? There's always this energy, this vibe that you feel. And so there is something there. I haven't looked into, the whole quantum mechanics of it all, but it's cool.
I'll highlight this part that you read as well, that it says negative feelings are not true feelings at all. Rather, they are thoughts about something based always on the previous experience of yourself and others.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. Don't assume, just live in the present. Take it as it comes, and for sure learn from the past, right? But I think so many of us live so far into the future, and sometimes we do it so much that we really start to think that our purpose here is to suffer so that we can maybe have something greater later, and that to me is backwards as crap. I think it's because I probably lived that way for a long time. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But I've seen it in other people that I love, and I don't know how to help them.
Yeah. So, and I love the thought of like, finding truth is not finding negative.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Finding truth is finding the inner peace, and finding truth is that's it. Finding truth is the peace, not the negative about something else. It's the what are you finding beautiful about, or what is beautiful to you, and what feels right and what feels peaceful. So, anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. I really liked it.
Yep. The definition of truth, the quality or state of being true. States can change. Good luck defining truth. Everybody's is different. Everybody has a different perspective. Everybody has a different life.
But that's what's so great. Isn't that so great? Because again, like we've come back to or said before, we all learn different ways. So what we need to learn is truth to get us from A to Z.
Yeah.
Is going to be different.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there isn't truth, but I'm just saying it's what we think might be true. We could be wrong about, and maybe it feels good right now, and that's what's helping us. But I think if we're open-minded enough that we can accept change, we can grow. And not that there does seem to be universal laws that just make sense, right? Like there's gravity and reactions and consequences, and there's just parts of life that we're not going to alter or change, but through our decisions, I guess. But there's also parts of our belief system, I think, that we can restructure as we go and grow through. And it's tough, but we can get there,
Well, and we need to be open to that our truth doesn't have to be your truth. Like my truth is
Totally.
not your truth. So we need to be open in the sense of we need to be open to new experiences because that's where we learn and grow and collect our truth. And we need to be open to that our experiences don't have to be your experiences.
I think the most pretty part about your I like rocks experience.
I like rocks.
Your crystal experience is that you're at least open-minded enough to ask the questions and to look at it, you know, and realize that, this might be a little crazy, but whatever. You know? And I think we can all benefit from a little crazy. It's okay.
Yeah. And the thing is how are you supposed to find like your full, true understanding of the things that you're supposed to, if you're in such a small realm of learning and knowledge, right?
Yep.
So
doesn't happen in a box.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway.
Okay.
Thanks for chatting.
Thanks for joining
us on this journey to seek truth.
I was going to keep trying to go there. I got to pee and I got to go show a house. You ready?
I love you.
Love you most.